for the late video for our January compilation for the new subscribers. This is where we take all of the information about the kits we expect to be released in the month, this month, of course, being January of 2015, and compress them all into one video. I should compress myself into bed before making this so I don't trip all over my words. But that being what it is, yeah, we're running a cruddy webcam because I just want to do this quick and dirty to get it out there. It's already the 11th of January. Fortunately for me, none of the stuff has shown up yet, but it will be busy next couple of weeks release-wise, both here in the States and overseas. Both Asia and Europe have stuff coming out this month. We'll go into the Notebook of Knowledge for the domestic side first, for those guys who like to tap out early. We'll start with round 2 because they've got more stuff to talk about. All this stuff is going to be coming out, I believe, under the AMT label, as far as I could tell from the box art. I didn't actually check to see this morning if they had updated the website yet, but last week they still had not updated it to reflect the 2015 releases yet, as far as what they figure they're going to get out for the first quarter or the second quarter and whatnot. Usually there's a couple months worth of releases that they know officially what date they're going to put them out at on there already. I got this information from the Auto World website, which is their distribution arm. But you're going to have a reissue. Of course, they're all reissues of the 1973 Ford Mustang. This is the Warren Tope Trans Am kit. You should know going into this kit that it cannot be built as a factory stock vehicle. It can only be built as a race car. You're going to have, a refreshed set of decals for this. Obviously, you're not going to be, Xeroxing the 1973 decals. They're also going to be putting a pad-printed Firestone and newly retooled grill into this kit. So it's got a few little bits and pieces as far as being updated or backdated to be, what it was originally. Apparently, somewhere along the line, the grill got changed. There's going to be 4 kits altogether out of AMT. 3 of the 4 are going to be in those Art Box kits, which are much larger boxes. They're like the size of import kit box, for lack of a better comparison. They're going. If you have seen or purchased the AMC Gremlin or the Art Box version of the 1940 Ford kit, that's what I'm talking about, those big boxes, because they've got a little art print, like a cardboard copy of the box art in the box itself. I guess we're tugging on, again, the old men nostalgic heartstrings with this because, like I said before, I'm not a box art guy. It can draw your attention. It can be, a cool thing to see, to grab your attention and get you to buy the kit. But I'm not so invested in box art that I want a box that doesn't fit on my shelves with all the rest of my kits of that genre and comes with a cardboard thing I'm going to throw out. I just, I'm not going to collect those. The next one up is a 1970 Chevy Impala. This is for years and years been marketed as like the heavy Chevy or the Impala SS. There was no actual SS Impala in 1970, so technically that's not correct. This is, again, it's going to be in the Art Box. It's going to have 1970s style box art on it from the 1970s reissue of this kit. The only thing that's going to be different about this kit is going to have a new set of decals that has some panel decals that sort of look like they'd be appropriate for a lowrider. But otherwise, this kit is the exact same way it's always been. This kit has never lost any of its parts. It is a little bit more progressive, one might say, than a traditional annual kit. It has like mostly separate suspension pieces. It's not all molded in. I believe it has opposable steering from reading comments about it online. I've never actually owned one of these kits. Through all the various releases it's had, for some reason it just never grabbed my attention enough to buy it. And I certainly don't think I'm going to be grabbing my attention enough to buy it this time around either. Like I said, it's not a bad kit. I mean, it is, 35 years old, but it's not, or not 35 years old, but 45 years old now. But it's not a bad 45-year-old kit, but know that it is an old, like every round 2 kit, it is an old kit. But if you already have, one of the 80s or 90s reissues of this kit, you don't really need another one unless you want that box art insert thing. Because I know a good friend of mine just recently here in our September show that we have here in Pittsburgh bought one of the 80s kits. I don't believe it was actually sealed, but it was, wasn't started for $5. And if you go on eBay, I'm relatively sure there's going to be a bunch of these for less than the $20-some-odd, $25, $28 they're going to command new. So how badly do you want that box art if you want one of these kits? Because there's much cheaper ways to get a hold of it. The last two, now these are actually kind of neat. I should say the Warren Tope Trans Am has been out a couple times. I believe it was out underneath a reissue from Model King, and it's sort of one of those interesting cars because Warren Tope was not a bad Trans Am driver. He actually won quite a bit, did fairly well in 71 and 72, but in 1973, the best he ever finished in 12 races in this car, it was 26th. So it's sort of an odd little car in the sense that, I mean, obviously AMT, when they made the kit in 1973, didn't know that he was going to have a crappy season, but it's sort of an odd thing to keep, releasing as the way it is. So like I said, the last two, these ones haven't been out for a good long time, at least not in the way they're being done. There'll be the 72 Chevy Blazer, being marketed at this time as the Crew Chief, out of the box art from the 1970 Construction Series. It'll have the decals and all of the Construction Series parts for the first time since that issue back in the 1970s. Hard hats, some toolboxes. There's a 6-pack of beverage of your choice. A lot of jokes are that it's supposed to be a 6-pack of beer, but I don't believe it actually has any decals per se. Also, there's going to be all of the parts that came out of the Boondockers version of this kit. So it has all of the optional parts, including the decals from the Boondockers series. They're saying that, how they phrase it, it's like the best of both reissues, best of both these kits put into one. I just noticed the other day that there was a Boondockers kit going for $100 on eBay. Now, of course, eBay is one of those things where the prices are listed for is sort of irrelevant. You need to go into into closed auctions and then sold auctions to see what people are really paying for those kits. Because, I could put a auction up on eBay for $1 million doesn't mean the kit's worth that much. If it's only selling for $50, then that's all it's worth. It doesn't matter what you list it for. But again, as I said, I just saw one the other day because occasionally I'll sign into eBay and I'll put the entire plastic model kit section into a time ending soonest listing and just go through to see what's ending that day, just to see if there's any bargains or steals. Usually there's not, but every now and then you get lucky. And then lastly, the Piranha CRV Super Spy Car. Now, guys that are old enough to remember the show or have an appreciation for older TV shows will recognize this as being the Man from U.N.C.L.E. car. Oddly enough, at least from what I've seen, Round 2 is not advertising it that way. And that's kind of odd because Tom Lowe tends to really go for those movie tie-ins. That's why that 72 Nova, that's been reissued a gazillion times, was recently done as the Beverly Hills Cop Nova, even though it's not the same car. The reason why the 58 Plymouth was reissued recently is the Christine tie-in, even though it's not the same car. Why this one that actually is the same car is not licensed. I don't know who owns the Man from U.N.C.L.E. licensing. That's a Paramount thing at this point. I'm not sure what network it was even on or if that even matters at this point, the number of times everything's been sold. But you are going to get pad-printed tires in this that are red line on one side, blue line on the other side. 2 sets of windows. One is clear, one is tinted. Now, how it's tinted, I don't know if it's just going to be smoke-tinted or it's color-tinted. Doesn't say. They're also doing a whole new set of decals for the road racing version of this kit. There's a road racing version of the car, so they made one with the kit. I mean, the Piranha thing was an actual real car. Kit car may be simplifying it too much because it wasn't actually a production vehicle, but they actually made some. It wasn't just this one-off for the TV show. Also, they're going to be retooling the windows and the taillights, which takes the ability to build it as a factory stock Piranha CRV. Because if anybody who you don't have to be that old to remember this, the last time this car has been out has been as a rear-engine dragster several times. Most recently, right at the end of AMT Ertl's run as a Buyer's Choice Program kit. There's no mention of the dragster parts in here. Now, whether they are or they aren't, we'll have to wait until the kit comes out, flip the box over, and look at the parts runner layout on the bottom. Again, something I don't intend to buy. But, it's in its configuration as the Man from U.N.C.L.E., as the factory stock version of this vehicle, has not been available this way since the original issue of the kit. So, while it won't have that official Man from U.N.C.L.E. tie-in on it, it does certainly harpoon the value of that original kit quite a bit. And that really is, like I said, that Piranha will also be in the art box car. It's going to have like a 12-page booklet about the history of the actual car inside, so that's kind of cool. It's nothing you can't just read by going on Google, but, it's a nice little touch to have in the kit. Of course, it has the art box, the print for the art, the box art, too. Over at Revell, you have one automotive release in January. This is a reissue of the Tommy Ivo, or is it Evo? Ivo? I assume it's Ivo. Showboat Dragster. This is the experimental 4-engine dragster that he ran at a bunch of exhibition races. It was never like officially sanctioned by the NHRA. It never actually ran, in any actual official races per se. They're making a big deal about it having the figure with it, so I don't know if it has or has not had the figure in it in the past. I honestly, without going and looking it up, the last time I remember this kit concretely is from the 1980s Hot Rod series. It probably has come out in the 90s or maybe in the 2000s since then. I couldn't tell you for sure, and I really don't care enough to go look it up. You know me, I don't build drag cars. It does have 4-hole engines in it, so there's parts fodder, even if you didn't want to build it the way that comes out of the box. But this is going to be an SSP release, guys. So that's the special, what do they call it? Special selected program, where it's going to be a limited run kit, and it's only going to be run one time, meaning that once it sells out, it's done. Now, that doesn't mean they won't bring it back next year in a regular box because, of course, your Hobby Lobbies, Michaels, and whatnot don't carry SSP kits, traditionally speaking. They just did that recently with the Black Widow Hot Rod. You may recall that was an SSP, like the original box art, and then it came out as just the show car series or whatever they call that. No word as far as I've seen on whether or not this is going to have like original box art to it, or they're going to just go with something else. I guess we'll find out. On the Revell Germany side of things, these are announced with Revell's releases because these kits will be available domestically here in the United States at your local hobby shop. Of course, Tower Hobbies will carry them too. They are the Trabant Universal Art Car. Crap, I didn't bring this up. I actually saved a picture of the car so that I could show you guys what it was, and then I didn't preload it into the PowerPoint viewer because I completely and totally forgot about that being something I wanted to talk about here. So the other two, while I look for this picture, so pardon me if my eyes aren't on the camera, the other two are going to be the Volkswagen Golf GTI and the Volkswagen Golf Golf Cabriolet. They will be, of course, those much anticipated kits. They were supposed to be out like in November and then December and then January here in the United States. I know they're out over in Europe. The reviews people are giving of them are quite good. They are people seem to be pretty satisfied with them. I can't think of any major complaints that I'm hearing off the top of my head, and this picture is not where I thought it was. It's just not where I thought it was. I don't know where it went. But I guess, disappointing in some sense from the Revell people because of the fact that there's a whole bunch of fourth quarter releases that have not come out yet. The Raptor Snap Tight kit, the Starsky and Hutch Torino. There's that goofy Snap Tight Crown Victoria that they're doing. The a pre-painted Corvette Stingray, the Stingray Snap Tight kit. Both those are supposed to be coming out. I must have deleted it because I don't have it anymore. Huh, that's odd. Oh, well, anyway, the art car, the Trabant Universal art car, the Trabant Universal is a station wagon version of the Trabant, and the art car was a 30th anniversary commemorative sort of graffiti-looking car that they did. Remember back to the old Revell of Germany kit. They did one for the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall that was just a regular Trabant. That was the old Trabant kit that was curbside and real simplified. The Universal is built off the new Trabant kit that has the full engine detail and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how they're going to do this. I assume it's decals, which will be quite the decaling job. It'll basically be almost a vinyl wrap of the car. I don't know if the real one's a vinyl wrap of the car, if it's really, really graffiti painted. Be an interesting fact to have on hand, and I don't. And that's all we got from the domestic side of things. As far as we have heard, the Mobius Ford Rangers, the 6971 are not on the water yet, or as are not the 54 Hudsons. those are both those kits apparently are getting closer than they are further away at this point. But they're not like going to be out this month or probably next month. Maybe March, maybe April. We'll see. So moving over to Europe, since we're already on the Revell Germany thing, Heller, their version of the Renault 4L with the GTL sides, the steel roof, and the option to build it as a fire vehicle, a police vehicle, or a taxi is supposed to be out this month, as well as the ICM 1911 Model T Touring. Now, the 1913 Model T Roadster did finally show up this month. Actually, last month, and right at the end of December. It came out right after Christmas or right before New Year, somewhere in that week range. You can go on eBay and actually buy them. They seem to be selling for about $54 right now, which may be a supply and demand issue rather than what the kit is going to be priced at. But it does seem to be a pretty nice kit. A lot of the military guys recognize ICM, of course, for all their military vehicles. They've done a limited number, 2 cars that they've upscaled from 135th to 124 scale, and this is their first series of their own 124 scale cars, the 13 Roadster and this 1911 Model T Touring. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually comes out this month or if it just sort of lingers, because I believe the original 1912 and became a 1913 magically through the box art department. Was really scheduled for like July. Came out 6 months late. I don't think this one will be 6 months late because it's one of those things where once the tooling's done for one, it's basically done for the other. The body is really the only difference. It is a full detail kit. It has an engine, the whole 9 yards. I mean, the engine for what it being, 1910 Model T. Over on to the Asian side of things, Hasegawa's kits, they came out at the end of December, so those things aren't relevant anymore. From Aoshima, you have a reissue of the 2011 Toyota Sandbar World Rally Blue Limited Edition. This is the kit that there were 500 of the real trucks, and then they ended up making 500 more because of demand, so there was 1,000 of the real vehicles made. It's molded in blue with all of the World Rally Blue Limited Edition decals, but it is otherwise the same as all of the other Sandbar kits. This is the new Sandbar, the one they just did, 2 years ago. 3 wheel sets, all VIP, Professor VF1, Varanzia Schwert SC4s, and the old trusty BBS LMs. Detail upsets for the Murcielago and the LP400 Countach. That's the original first of the supercar kits that Aoshima put out of the original Countach. There's still no word on the 88 fuel-injected car yet, other than it's coming out this year. The 50th anniversary Aventador has been given a release date for March. Maybe a little, on the hopeful side. The way Aoshima's been running, might be more realistic, but being that most of the kit is the same, they might get it out in March. There's a new front bumper, a new rear bumper for the diffusers and the intakes and all that stuff. And then there's some interior pieces that are different. But all in all, it's pretty much, a regular Aventador. It looks like it's about 15 new parts, give or take, with the wheels out of the Roadster kit. So maybe they can pull that one out of their hats, but we'll see. Also, the Nissan Bluebird Autobox Turbo Silhouette 1980s Japan race car. And then 2 more that I added to the list here because I saw that they had been moved around scheduling-wise. The A31 Cefiro Altezza Cruising and the A33 Laurel Medalist Club S. Both these kits are, like really crappy curbsides. They're formerly motorized, but they do have an RB20 engine insert for them. So if nothing else, you can steal the engines out of them. I don't know. On the Fujimi side of things, I feel like I just talked about this stuff because we just talked about all of this stuff was released more or less at the same time for the One Last Stash Project video that we did, and now we're doing a January video about it. But hey, it's all in one place, right? Window mask kits, there's 4 of them. You got the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 5 and the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7 going to come out with window mask kits the way the 3 and the 8, or the 9, the 3 and the 9 rather, just came out here last month. Also, the Toyota Cresta 3.0 Super Lucent and the Toyota Mark II 3.0 Grande G. These are 1990s 4-door Toyota, milk toast sedans. I don't know what the chassis are underneath these. They seem to me to be too new to be motorized. They were in that sort of era of kits that Fujimi did that weren't, they weren't recycling every single part out of every kit because the GX71 triplets came out and they don't have a curbside chassis for the kits that they released that have the engines in them. And I think that chassis was created more or less for these kits or thereabouts. I don't believe that it has a motorized chassis. I mean, we'll find out here in 5 days. They're due out on the 16th. There's those 4 Porsche 917Ks. You have the 1970 Le Mans, the 1971 Le Mans winner, the 1971 Monza 1,000 kilometer winner, and the 1971 Fuji Grand Champion final race, the Ikazawa driven vehicle. And then because we went over all of these at once, but only 4 of them, are actually coming out in January. There's that new set of Circuit Wolf cars that are coming out from Fujimi. Like I said, only 4 of the 8 are coming out in January. Those are the Ferrari Daytona, Susuga Island Race, the Mazda Savannah RX-3 Susuga Island Race, the Porsche 928 Kyogo Sakura vehicle, and then the Porsche 930 Turbo Hayasa Sakao vehicle. Some background on the actual kits themselves. The Mazda RX-3 is a curbside, but it's not a motorized curbside. It does have like some separate suspension upright struts and steering link and all the rest of that stuff. It's not a real bad kit. It's kind of basic. It's one of the more, if you bought Fujimi kits, you know what you're getting into. It's 50, 60 part basic curbside. Then Porsche 928, same way. It's another 50, 60 piece basic curbside. It looks like it's a 928 GTS, which is a newer 928, which disappointed a friend of mine, but it is what it is. The Ferrari Daytona has never been offered any other way other than is the Daytona or as the 365 GTB, however you want to call it. As an enthusiast series kit. So I don't expect that they've stripped anything out of it. I think they're going to just reissue this as an enthusiast series kit. If you look at the preliminary box art, the car has no additional fender flares or anything else like that. I think it's just going to be a straight reissue of the Ferrari Daytona. And then the Porsche 930 Turbo is another one of these cars that has never been made any other way other than as an enthusiast series. It's a 1976, I want to say, Porsche, or 1973. I'd have to go look. It's a 1970s Porsche. When I was looking this stuff up, when I was talking to friends about it, I actually pulled the actual enthusiast series kit up. I don't know that it's been done as anything else recently, like in any of these other weird anime series that they've done. So I think the last time this kit came out may be as the Enthusiast Series kit, which puts it like about 10, 15 years ago. So I am interested in the 930 Turbo because it's one of the, I won't call it rarest because that's an incorrect term, but it's one of the lesser known Enthusiast Series Porsche that are out there. And you know what, guys, that's it. We talked about a couple weeks ago. There's the new carbon fiber decal set that Studio 27 is doing for the Tamiya Alfa Romeo 155 TIV6 DTM car. Still no word from Tamiya officially about them reissuing it, but again, I don't think they're going to be doing a decal set for it for nothing because the kit itself is the cheapest. There's been some cheaper ones on eBay, which may be a factor of people going, oh crap, they're going to reissue this kit. I want to get as much out of it as I can. I saw one up for like about $35 the other day. Taboo Graphics, which is a subdivision of Studio 27, released Thursday the Jägermeister decals for the Alfa Romeo 155. So it remains to be seen if they actually reissue that kit. I have to assume they're gonna, but we'll see. There are something like a half a dozen currently in production 155 TIV6 decals that Studio 27 makes as far as graphics for the actual race teams go. And it'll be interesting to see if in the coming weeks we see any announcements from Studio 27 about them reissuing the ones that are out of production and unavailable. That will give you the official heads up, even if Tamiya doesn't want to do it, that they will indeed be reissuing that kit. And like I said, guys, that's it. So that's January in a nutshell. Should get real hot and heavy as far as kit releases go after the holiday. That's right. Tomorrow, Monday, is another national holiday in Japan. They just took a week off. They worked for 5 days. Or some work 6 days because some places were open on Saturday. And then they're taking another 3-day weekend. So why not? Hey, we're going to get Martin Luther King Day next week. So, I don't know what this is. I didn't look it up to see what it is. Maybe Monday we'll do another video and we'll wish you a happy whatever it is in Japan that day. Because we still got to do the stash report for this week. So that's what it is, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, share, tell your friends, alert your neighbors, drag people over, make them watch, make them subscribe, and we'll see you on the other side.